What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the new Western movie on Netflix, The Harder They Fall. This one's starring Idris Elba, Regina King, Jonathan Majors, Zazie Beetz, and is directed by James Samuel. The story for this one goes like this. Gunning for revenge, outlaw Nat Love saddles up with his gang to take down longtime enemy Rufus Buck, a ruthless crime boss who just got sprung from prison. What's really interesting about this movie is that when you hear the synopsis, it doesn't really sound like it's gonna offer anything up that hasn't been done a dozen times in the Western genre already, which is true. But what's unique about this film is how this familiar story is digested and displayed to us. It probably falls into the category of style over substance, but when the style is that good, I'm not too upset about that. The saying, "It's not what you say, it's how you say it," comes to mind when thinking about this film. It's a very Quentin Tarantino and Spike Lee type of Western. Tons of blood splattering, crisp sound effects, and jarring jump cuts all combine to create the first stylish and fresh Western in years. I love Westerns, but there's no denying that there's definitely a short list of them that have been memorable and effective in the 21st century. Django Unchained, 3:10 to Yuma, Bone Tomahawk, and No Country for Old Men are all obvious standouts here. The Harder They Fall doesn't measure up to those films I mentioned, but it's the first Western in a while that stands on its own 2 feet, and one that I could see people listing as a favorite of the genre. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it doesn't take any BS. This clear and complete of a vision is a surprising thing to see from our first time feature-length film debut of our director James Samuel. But from checking out some of his previous credits, it's obvious that he enjoys playing in this old Western environment. Continuing with the Django comparison a bit, this soundtrack is almost as star-studded as the cast, featuring names like Kid Cudi, Jay-Z, CeeLo Green, and Seal. All of these tracks are recorded specifically for the movie, and you can tell they were recorded with certain scenes in mind. When it all fits together, everything culminates to deliver a total sensory overload in the most memorable scenes in this stylish entry. Now, the cast in this one is absolutely stacked. You'll recognize everyone in here, even down to the minor characters. Idris Elba is an absolute hulking presence in this one as the villain Rufus Buck. He was almost larger than life. He would shake the ground as he walked, and all eyes were on him whenever he entered a room. And Jonathan Majors is always very cool and easy to root for, even mere minutes into the film's beginning. In the first scene, you see what this antagonist does to him, and you understand his lifelong hatred and the motivation to settle the score between these two. You have Regina King, Zazie Beetz, Lakeith Stanfield, and Damon Wayans Jr. rounding out the rest of the cast, so you know you're in good hands here. Now, given the basic plot, the film plays out exactly like you would expect it to. Our main character was wronged by this crime boss many years ago, and now that he hears that his longtime enemy is getting out of prison, he makes it his life goal to put this man in the ground. He gets his usual crew back together for one last job and to settle the score. Things go haywire and it ends up with a bullet-ridden and bloody conclusion. But there's actually a worthwhile twist here at the end, one that I wasn't expecting and adds an extra layer to a couple of our outlaw characters. At the end of the day though, I wish we got a little bit extra of Idris Elba's backstory here and learned about the events that turned him into the man we meet in this movie. He's a complex character, and even though he's the villain of this story, he thinks what he's doing is the right thing. So I would have loved a little bit more insight on why he went to prison and what motivates him. But like I said earlier, it's not really about the plot with this one that's been done time and time again. It's how it's offered up in the shiny new coat of paint that surrounds it. The Harder They Fall gets a Sully score of 8. The Harder They Fall may not deliver something truly unique and distinct to the Western genre when it comes to its storytelling, but it does so with its visuals. Bursting with energy, color, and violence, this is a very good introduction to our first-time feature-length director, James Samuel. Sporting one of the best casts and soundtracks this year, this film is definitely one you should be checking out if you're a Western fan. So that's my review of The Harder They Fall. Let me know if you're gonna go check this one out in the comments below. And if you like new movie reviews, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that I know you enjoy this type of content. And I'll see you guys at the next video.